food is detoxifying, there are specific elements to that food that make it very astringent, make it very hydrating and cleansing, so that the body uses it as fuel for elimination. These different qualities of food chemistry make the food either detoxifying or fortifying. It really depends on whether the food is simple and hydrating and eliminatory, or if it's fortifying, complex, and building. One aspect of food and nutrition that I really disagree with from the mainstream medical perspective and the nutritional perspective that a lot of nutritionists these days take is the perspective of high protein for health. I've seen quite a few popular detox articles that come from very mainstream but very authoritative sources that tell people that it's okay to have eggs and yogurts and grains during the detox process. And it's just mind-boggling. There's no sense of understanding about foods, about their quality, about the body, how the body processes this chemistry, and which body parts, such as kidneys, work in the detox process, and what the kidneys actually like. And that is simplicity, that is astringency, that is hydration. The thing is that protein is highly complex and acidic to the body, meaning that when it enters the body, the kidneys have to work really hard to take that complex chemistry and convert it into amino acids, which are the basic compounds of proteins. So these amino acids are found in fruits and vegetables plentifully, but for some reason we tend to gravitate towards complex proteins, which are in the nuts and seeds and animal proteins. But these complex compounds are very hard on a body that's already electrically down, that doesn't have a lot of energy, and that's very highly compromised. So not only proteins, but also fats. If you're frying your food, or if you're cooking your oils in a very, very high heat temperature, this can denature the chemistry of the oil, the benefits of the oil, and it can make the oil rancid. It can actually acidify your food, even if you're stir frying vegetables. So it's important to only use cold pressed fats, cold pressed, organic, and preferably to add these oils to your salad raw, so not cooked. So if you want to fry, instead you can steam or you can boil these vegetables and add the oil and the fats after. This way you preserve the integrity of the oil, the nutrition, and the benefits, and you're not adding more acids and more of that you want to expel during detox. So think of your body as a food processor, which it is. It's a biological food processor. So, and think of your food as chemistry that now has to be processed by this food processor. So if you're combining different chemistries, you're putting too many different elements together and you're eating them at the same time, think of how much work that is for the body. You have your vegetables, which are full of cellulose, and you have your proteins, which are very complex. You have your grains, which have a lot of phytic acid, and they're enzyme inhibitory. So you're combining all of these elements, and then you're putting it, telling your body, here it is, let's get this digested. And just think of that combustion that happens when these chemistries interact and then create perhaps fermentation, which happens when sugars and proteins come together, or sugars or complex sugars, and in terms of polysaccharides and grains, and then you have your proteins. And so starches and proteins, when they come together, there's a lot of fermentation that happens. As a general rule, during a detox, we want to conserve energy. So we're gonna have food, we're gonna intake, or we're gonna go with foods that are highly simple and that can be digested very easily with minimal energy consumption. So not only eating simply, but combining foods correctly is extremely important. So mono diet is a diet where we eat specific food by itself. So let's say I'm eating a salad. Maybe I'm not just going to eat the lettuce by itself, but maybe I'm going to complement that with an avocado and maybe cucumbers. So I make it much more simple for the body by giving it the chemistry of that food group and not, combining that with nuts and, fruits, which would really create a lot of gas and a digestive turbulence. So when you're detoxing and you're eating mono foods, this is going to help the body in its processing, which is digestion, in its assimilation, in its utilization, and elimination processes, because it's just going to be simple. It's not going to use too much energy. You're not going to create a lot of byproducts from the digestive process, which could be gases and fermentation and even candida. So you want to keep simplicity in check, and the best way to do so is to feed the body what it needs, one thing at a time. What complex foods do, on the other hand, is they tax the body. They demand a lot more energy than they give. And these are your complex proteins, your grains, fats, anything that takes a lot more energy to not only digest, but assimilate and eliminate. So what happens is if one or more of these processes becomes compromised, then we fall prey to different kinds of illnesses. For example, if we do have the energy and vitality and genetical predisposition to good digestion, but we don't absorb our nutrients correctly, we're going to be nutritionally deficient. So that matters. All of these processes matter. It's basically like an assembly line in a factory. If one aspect of that assembly line is missing, then that's going to impact the outcome of the product. The same thing goes with health. If one of these processes of digestion, absorption, utilization, and elimination is not working well, then we need to really work with the body to strengthen these systems and make them work correctly. So when it comes to detoxification, it is the kidneys that are of the most importance. Strengthening the kidneys and making them filter is the only way that you can detoxify properly. If your kidneys are not filtering waste from the lymphatic system, which is our waste system, then you will only circulate whatever you're trying to detox. Think about the kidneys as filters. So you have to have proper filters, like a water filter. You want to filter all of those heavy metals and elements that you don't want in your water. The same happens with the kidneys. The kidneys are filtering out the acids and toxins and metabolic waste that we should not have in our bodies. And so they're doing us a service. They're working on helping to create a more hospitable terrain in our bodies so that the body doesn't become acidic and that acidity doesn't cause inflammation. Because of this, I would primarily use fruits in the detox process and then use a bit of vegetables. When you need the grounding from the fruit is very energetic. It kind of stirs everything up in the body because it's trying to heal. A lot of these, acids that are being processed, the lymphatic system that's being activated, it's causing certain detox symptoms. And when that happens, I recommend vegetables. So vegetables can use their grounding qualities to help in this process, to keep us a bit more down to earth, more less reactive to the process of detox. So fruits and vegetables have optimal nutrition, have optimal chemistry for detoxification. So if you're chronic, if you have symptoms that are extremely debilitating, if you're healing from a chronic disease such as cancer, my advice is to stick with fruits and vegetables. Your cells need energy. And when they do, they will self-regulate and they will get rid of that which the body doesn't want. So never fear fruit. Know that fruit has beneficial sugars, which are fructose, simple sugars, that feed cells and that have nothing to do with the complex sugars that are harmful and poisonous. So fruit is optimal for healing. Fruit is optimal for living, and fruit is necessary for us to heal and to evolve into higher states of consciousness. So my favorite detox diet is 80% fruit, 20% vegetables. So 80% fruit and 20% vegetables is the perfect balance to keep you detoxed, to keep you hydrated, and to strengthen your system, while at the same time keeping you grounded and balancing you out. So you want that emotional, physical, and mental balance to be kind of included in that 80-20 ratio, which is a universal ratio of 80% alkaline, 20% acidic chemistry that all life is based on. If you keep to that ratio will really do wonders for the body. During detox, your body needs to get rid of a lot of different pent-up acidic chemistry in the body. So you need the cleansing chemistry, you need the hydration, you need to cool down that inflammation, you need organ regeneration, you need tissue healing and rebuilding. And fruit can do that because it has the chemistry, it has the energy, and it has the minerals and electrolytes to do so. The vegetables come in to fortify, so they help with building the tissue once that elimination process happens. So I would use the fruit solely at first to get the body in a state where it's eliminating, where the kidneys work and the body can start to eliminate a lot of the waste. And then when that happens, when you feel the symptoms have subsided, or you feel much better, more energetic, you can include some vegetables. And if you simply want to have a 2-day detox fast and you want to do a juice fast, or you want to just eat healthier than you do now, this is wonderful. This is also going to help your body. But to truly detoxify, that is an art and a science. You have to understand the systems of your body, and you have to understand how they interact together. So this is more of the mechanical, scientific aspect of knowing what health is really about, but then the art comes in, the intuition comes in. How do I, now that I know all about this chemistry, how can I be the alchemist to help my body regain its balance? How can I use nature to help me in that process? How can I experiment with foods to see what works for me? And if I understand the scientific aspect of it, how can I design the artistic aspect of what I have for breakfast, what I have for lunch, what I have for dinner? So the detox process really is a beautiful process of rebalancing the body, healing the body. By strengthening the body will become more resistant, it will be stronger, and its function will be more on the alkaline side of life. You'll have a more alkaline terrain, which will help you offset pathogens and viral infections quickly. You're not going to get sick, and you're going to feel better than you've felt probably your whole life. So you want to be on that alkaline side of life, be it with food, which is your internal physical terrain, or your emotions and your mental life. And just a side note that even if you adapt the diet, the detox diet, and it works for you, know that mental and emotional life is as important. So if you're eating all these foods, you're helping your body, you see the results, but you're in a depressive state, you're in a traumatized state, you're dwelling, you're stressed out, all the benefits that you see because of the diet are going to be offset. Your lifestyle, your emotions, and your mental processes have to all be on a higher energetic state. So they have to be, you have to think positively, you have to, engage in self-care, lower your stress levels, be in an environment that's nurturing to you, because emotions and mental processes that are negative cause a lot of detrimental acidification to the body, the same way that processed foods and foods that are not right for us cause these same issues. So together, food, emotions, our spiritual life, stress levels, our environments, they all work together to create the end result of our state of health. So all of these self-care efforts will then have this net effect of high energy and profound inner healing. So thank you for joining me in this video. I hope you really learned a lot about what it takes to get healthy, what it takes to detoxify, and which foods are the perfect foods to do so. And if you like this content, please do follow me, share, like, anything helps, and I'll see you in the next video.